First, we have to talk about Western Europe and the leaders and how war really is a laboratory. It's a litmus test to the reaction of leaders around the world. You can also always see, according to the reaction, which side they're on. And you would expect their chief ally, the United States, and Israel, their ally, I think, you would expect Western Europe to be fully supportive of encouraging the US and Israel against this tyrannical regime in Iran. But yet, alas, no. France's Emmanuel Macron, we can see it on the screen. He won't budge on the nuclear deterrence thing. There is a practice in France that every president has to give the State of the Union speech on nuclear deterrence, la dissuasion nucléaire. And so he probably has been going in and out on those drafts of the speech, I guess. Dotting every I and crossing every T. And very ironically, Macron seems to be talking against the United States and Israel, acting against the emerging nuclear deterrence threat emanating from Iran, while he's boasting how he's going to double down on the nuclear stockpile and arsenal of France against any threat. So, yeah, we can talk all day about the mutually assured destruction and how the nuclear threat keeps the peace in the world, the Margaret Thatcher theory and all that. But in the end of the day, we want to keep nuclear weapons away from the hands of terrorists, such as the Iranian regime. And it doesn't seem like Macron's consistent with his, show off or pride of the French nuclear deterrence while condemning the US and Israel for attacking the Iranian nuclear deterrence that is building up. There is very limited room for maneuver with nuclear weapons. You don't really use them, hopefully. And so it would be helpful for President Macron not just to talk about the nuclear deterrence, but also on how conventional deterrence can operate, how the French Air Force or the French special forces, which are, I'm not going to say second to none, but they are certainly very powerful. I know these guys, they're amazing. So I don't know if this government in France is really representative of the might of the French military as it can be shown, nor does it really use its role in NATO. It's very ironic that France, the UK, all of these countries in Western Europe are really preaching to the United States, lecturing the United States, that it has to maintain the spirit of solidarity in NATO. We cannot be isolationists. We're all part of the same Western alliance and solidarity. Only that once the United States and Israel are taking on Iran, the first thing France and the UK do is condemn them, refuse to assist, immediately go out, like in Starmer's case, and say, we had nothing to do with it, we are not involved. There are talks of France and the UK maybe joining in a defensive capability to the operation, to the war. I'm not sure what that means exactly. And Spain, the Sanchez government in Spain, has gone the extra mile, banning altogether American use of their naval bases and other bases en route to Iran. And so if I were President Trump, I would say, hang on, I've been paying these guys for years. We recently demanded them, and finally they agreed to up their defense commitment to 5% of GDP. And then when I take an extremely significant move against Iran, they won't even join me. On the other, not only that, they go full-blown condemning me for acting against Iran, which is primarily a threat to Europe, not the United States. And so this is this upside world where the UAE has been condemning Iran unequivocally. Bahrain, Qatar, a country that goes hand in hand with Iran for years, have been condemning Iran unequivocally. Saudi Arabia, not only condemning, but reportedly pushing Trump to attack Iran and reportedly may be joining the war militarily. So Israel and the United States find themselves on the same page with the Arab world, while Western Europe is acting as if, well, we have nothing to do with it. Let's all de-escalate and go back to the table of negotiations. Yeah, well, that may happen with countries that respect international law and respect rules of engagement, such as the United States, Israel, European countries. Not in the case of Iran. You cannot find a dictatorship with your hands tied behind your back. And so Iran is not a normal country, nor so it shouldn't be treated as a normal country, at least in the case of this regime and the way it's treating its own people. And so what I'm going to show you, first of all, is the reaction by Emmanuel Macron of France. He is incredibly silent on these Iranian attacks on innocent civilians around the Middle East. He's very quick to condemn every single fake news report coming out of Gaza in the case of the Hamas news. And claiming that Israel bombed the school, Israel bombed the hospital. Oh, sorry, later to be confirmed that it was actually fake news, disinformation by Hamas, also taking a page out of Iran's book and in turn of the Soviets and Russians and Chinese book. And he's incredibly silent, AWOL, nowhere to be found, as Iranian drones kill civilians in Israel, the UAE, Bahrain, crashing near the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, targeting U.S. embassies. It's supposed to be our ally, man. It's supposed to be our ally. Targeting a Saudi oil refineries, nothing. Nothing. His drone crashed on 5-star hotels in Dubai. Not a single word. And entire families are being wiped out in Israel. Not a single word. But he's very quick to react on anything coming out of Gaza, which makes me wonder, really bewildering. What is this guy thinking? But look at this, the way Macron frames it. It's all about the framing, as you know. The outbreak of war between the United States, Israel, and Iran carries grave consequences for international peace and security. I wonder why. At this decisive moment, every measure is being taken to ensure the security of our national territory, our citizens, and our interests in the Middle East. Well, it's all about us, isn't it? France also stands ready to deploy the necessary resources, sure. The ongoing escalation is dangerous for all. It must stop. The Iranian regime must understand that now it's no other option but engage in good faith in negotiations. Who are you kidding, Emmanuel Macron? Engage in good faith in negotiations? This is a terrorist regime. What are you talking about? It's killed French soldiers and French civilians. What are you talking about? It launched the October 7 attacks against Israel, where dozens of French citizens were murdered and taken hostage to Gaza. French soldiers died in Beirut in those barrack bombings in the early 1980s. Iran tried to assassinate former Vice President Mike Pence in Paris. What are you talking about? Engage in good faith negotiations? How about you tell the United States, yeah, go get him. Go get him. I'm sick and tired of this Iranian regime wreaking havoc around the region. And I, Emmanuel Macron, understand that so long as this regime is in place, there is never going to be stability in the Middle East. But hell, no. Alas, no. And so this sort of sanitized, between all sides announcement is it's not surprising the way Western European leaders react, but it's certainly disappointing. How about Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the European Commission, going on and on? She wouldn't budge on resilience and solidarity. And then notice what she's doing here. She's mentioning every single leader in the Middle East and how she unequivocally condemns, to her credit, the Iranian attacks on their territory. I'm going to let you guess which particular country she didn't call by name. Good phone call with Erdogan, a tyrannical dictator in Turkey. The instability in the region impacts us both profoundly, blah, blah. I spoke with His Majesty the Sultan of Oman. I strongly condemned the Iranian attacks on Oman's territory. The Iranian strikes in Manama, Bahrain, were unjustified and unacceptable. I expressed my full solidarity with the people of Bahrain. I just spoke with the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia. As our strategic partner, we will work closely with you to de-escalate and safeguard regional stability. You can count on our full support in those turbulent times. Phone call with Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani of Qatar. Qatar can count on strong European solidarity. I just spoke with King Abdullah of Jordan. This afternoon, I was in touch with President this, President that, naming Isaac Herzog, the Israeli president, mostly has ceremonial role, all together with like a conference call together with Merz and some other world leaders to discuss the situation. So let me get this straight. Israel gets attacked by hundreds of Iranian missiles and drones. Innocent civilians get murdered, and you have nothing to say. You only say before it all happened, well, I discussed with the president, with some other people about the developments in the region, whatever. Every single other country, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Jordan, all these countries, you say, you can count on our full support. Strategic partners, we unequivocally condemn these heinous attacks by Iran on your territory. When it comes to Israel, crickets. And so you begin to wonder, where is this all going? And I want to juxtapose it in such a profound way with the way the Americans are talking, which is amazing. President Trump, I want to thank Israel for what they're doing. I'm paraphrasing here, but they said, the American military is second to none. We're gonna show the Iranian people what the full might of the American military. Marco Rubio, same thing. We cannot tolerate the Iranian nuclear threat, ballistic missile threat. Trump, I want to hear the magic words. We'll never have a nuclear weapon. Pete Hegseth, the U.S. Secretary of War, praised Israel as a great ally and a capable partner. Notice the words, capable. Contrasting it with Western Europe. Capable partner. Contrasted Israel with many traditional allies who whine and call for an end to the war. Again, many traditional allies, I'm assuming Western Europe, who whine and call for an end to the war. Well, I think the Americans understand exactly what's going on here. Israel is not only a capable partner, but as the U.S. National Security stated a few short months ago, naming Israel particularly the one country that was named model ally. Model ally, meaning that Israel is projecting regional power. It carries out strikes, military strikes, but also it projects power in a way that is pro-American and advances American interests in the region. So we don't have to only call for the help of Washington like many countries do. Hello, Donald Trump, how about you rescue us? How about you put U.S. boots on the ground? No, Israel is acting in self-defense and has an incredibly able military. Right now, the Israeli Air Force, Mossad, the intelligence, many types of forces. Right now, the ground incursion in Lebanon. It is quite astounding what Israel has been able to accomplish over the past few days. And it is a tiny country of 10 million people against a huge country like Iran with 92 million people. And in general, the way the multi-front war has erupted against Israel 2.5 years ago on October 7, and you can see how this very tiny country is able to carry out such long-ranging strikes, shocking the Middle East, really. And so I think the Americans understand exactly what's going on here. Israel is their strategic partner, capable partner, and really Western Europe under these governments has been, quote, whining and, quote, calling for an end to the war. So I think we all understand who's friend, who's foe, and let's see where this is all going. Don't miss a moment. Hit the subscribe button right now and be the first to watch the next episode.